Shaz Chaudhry, Pep Talk UK, finally got a hold of this busy man. It's Dr. Arthif, the Hitman Daniel, aka Dr. Hitman.
What an introduction. I'm hungry.
Oh, I haven't even started with introductions. Don't get me started. If I start introducing you properly, I'll be honest, I'm going to break everything down in what we just said there in an intro. We're going to start off with the easy part. I addressed you as Doctor, but it's not like any old nickname. You formally have that title. How's that?
That's through my BDS dental studies. So I graduated from King's College London as a dental surgeon. So on the outside of from the boxing ring, that's my official legal title.
And you've got the title, Dr. Hitman. The second part of it, Hitman, comes from what you do,
Yeah.
which is you're a hitman in the ring. Tell me about your boxing career.
Yeah, well, I got the name actually really from Hitman. I was from Tommy Hearns, and I was inspired by the Klitschko brothers with their PhD academias, Dr. Steelfist, Dr. Steelhammer, Dr. Ironfist, Dr. Steelhammer. So I kind of put them two together to become Dr. Hitman. But yeah, I've loved boxing. I'm 70-3 at the moment. I started my campaign of my career at super welterweight at 154, but although my next few fights will probably be at that weight, I'm looking to move down at 147 welterweight. My last fight I had in November in Mexico was at 147 at welterweight division. So that's the weight now I'm comfortable in wanting to campaign further. So yeah, just really excited. Obviously, like everyone else in this world, been affected by COVID. So my boxing career, as well as everyone else's boxing careers, has been obviously put on hold for a bit. But yeah, just looking forward to carrying on. I'm still training hard, and yeah, just looking forward to continuing in the ring.
Timeline this for me. Doctor first, boxer second, boxer first, doctor second. How did you get into dentistry?
Yeah.
And where did the passion for becoming a boxer come from?
Well, it's kind of, I suppose, synonymous really, hand in hand, because I mean, growing up, I loved boxing, I love martial arts, I love, I was very physically active, I love sports. So, I mean, a lot of the background history with my boxing comes from my father and grandfather, who were big Muhammad Ali fans. And my father used to box amateur. He was born and raised in North London, and he was in the RAF cadets, and then he actually also boxed had an unofficial bout really with the national champion of his weight at the time. He was in the British Army, and which he actually won as well. So so I got obviously my boxing interest from him especially, and my grandfather was big Muhammad Ali fans, and grew up watching Muhammad Ali and his great fights with Joe Frazier, George Foreman, and all the fights obviously with the others, Larry Holmes and Ken Norton. So that was my initial introduction to boxing, and obviously then I was in the Mike Tyson era, and he was my favourite fighter growing up watching. I used to watch his fights obviously, then after his post-prison fights I used to watch live, used to wake up in the morning, early hours of the morning to tune in. So yeah, I just, obviously I was continuing, I used to train, I suppose. I didn't really envisage myself being a professional boxer. Obviously I really enjoyed my sciences, I wanted to do something in the medical field. When I was in school, I also did work experience in sort of year 9, and thanks also to my mum, she was sort of honing me in my interest, because I liked medicine, but I was kind of put off with the hours, quite unsociable hours, and so she said, look son, why don't you look at dentistry? So I began to take an interest in dentistry. I then did work experience at school, and I said, this is what I want to do. So that was obviously the dental aspect, and I just continued training in boxing. I used to always watch all the fights. I was a huge fan, and then just carrying on. Eventually, I mean, I had obviously got close friendship with Danny Williams, who's like a big brother to me, and I had obviously I had experience of sort of being around the professional ranks and training with professionals and amateurs and sparring with them and stuff. And then one day I was like, hold on a second, you know what? There's something here. You know, there's something. You know, I could do something here and stuff. And so I had some great help and support around me, and here I am. Fast forward 20 years on.
Now, you mentioned Danny Williams. He very difficult viewing. I'm sure it's difficult for you as well. I think it was just over a week ago when he went to Russia. I've obviously watched, being just a little bit younger than you. I've also being the same age as you ish. No, not happening. Being a little bit older than you, I've also watched Danny's career and the highs and the lows, and it was difficult viewing. But then this week, you've set up a GoFundMe page to assist Danny. Now, what was the thinking behind it? Well, I know it's obviously for a good reason, and I've seen a lot of people already backing it.
Yeah, no, it's been great. What it was, obviously, he's still been fighting really for his two daughters. He put them through private school and obviously paying for their education. Danny's always been like, look, I didn't get the opportunity. I want to make sure my two daughters, my two girls, they get that opportunity. South London, one of the roughest parts of London, one of the roughest areas. So really he's been getting into the ring continuously, for many years when he should have really hung up his gloves for the sake of his two girls. And it's been difficult obviously for years now. And I was like, Danny, look, this can't be carrying on, and I'll be upset. And I was like, the discussion was like, okay, look, I mean, he knew. So I actually didn't even know he was fighting until 2 hours before the fight. I saw Box Nation tweet, and he's fighting, and I was like, oh God, are you serious? And I was like, and the fact that I've advertised it, I was like, okay, it's not going to be an easy fight or anything like that. It's not going to be just any old person journeying or something like that. So yeah, and then obviously I saw the footage, and it was, it was heartbreaking. And it equally was from the many boxing fans, around the world who echo their sentiments as well. It was just horrible to watch. So people began talking on social media. So look, obviously the story got out that obviously he's still fighting for his girls, which then got instigated by this really nice American guy called Thomas. He then mentioned, look, why don't we set up a GoFundMe page? Then we ended up getting in touch, and kind of went from there. Lou DeBetto really backed it. I've known Lou from before, and through Deontay Wilder, and when he used to work with him from that time. So obviously they knew that I've got genuine contacts and friendship with Danny Williams. So he said, look, set this up and I'll be the first contributor, and he was, he was true to his word, he did, and then he obviously helped get that campaign out, put it on his social media, and as with many others, Paulie Malignaggi, Paulie again, obviously, he's there trying to tweet support for a black fighter. Ironically, several weeks back he was accused of racism, so which obviously I went on record to defend. But yeah, Paulie supported Danny, and many others have as well subsequently. So it's just, and Danny is a man of pride. He has values. He's got integrity and dignity, and he didn't want this. He was like, look, this is, he wanted us to look, Danny, look, if this is what it takes for you not to step in the ring again, then this is what we're going to do. So
it's commendable, it's admirable, but I think the reasons behind what you're doing isn't to, because again, you're reluctant to discuss it, but for the fact that it may bring attention to the page,
yes,
which shows the humility in you. Again, it's for a worthy cause, and let's hope irrespective of what the financial total is at the end of it, that the desired effect is Danny doesn't step in the ring again.
Yeah, 100%.
Or need to step into the ring again.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. But yeah, Danny was, obviously a man of pride. He didn't want anything to do with it. Like, look, no one else, and so, myself and maybe I said, look, Danny, look, you've got no say in this matter. Look, we're gonna deal with this. We're gonna sort this out. And you don't have to say nothing, and that's it. You just don't want to step in the ring again. You want to look after, preserve your health, and make sure you're there for your own daughters, and you walk them down the aisle one day.
I see the WBC badge now. Because I've known you for such a period of time, I know your phone is hot property because you've got people on speed dial that most boxing fans would die for. You've got the likes of Mr. Floyd Mayweather on speed dial. You've got the president of the WBC on speed dial. You've got our local lad, Amir Khan, on speed dial. You've got Mr. Deontay Wilder on speed dial. You've got Paulie Malignaggi on speed dial. And I'm just scratching the surface. You are a blessed individual, and it's a testament to you as a character that you have this recognition within this industry. Possibly not with every fan in the country, but within the industry, you're a very, very respected individual.
Yeah, it's what you just said. It's God's blessings, really. I'm just grateful and thankful. I just carry myself as I am. What you see is what you get, and I just believe in doing good. I'm not perfect, but I believe in doing whatever good that you can. It always comes back to you, and that's my ethos in life. I believe, and that's people ask me, how have you achieved this? How have you done this? And how have you got good relations with this person? It's God's blessings. If you do good, it comes back to you. I'm just very grateful.
How many of them have you actually treated then? Is there anyone who's like the most famous person that's come under
No, I don't know.
Or is it private medical information that you can't disclose?
Sometimes we'll have selfies as well on there and stuff like that. But no, look, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I've treated some of them. Some of them I've never treated. Paulie's a very good friend of mine for over 10 years. He still hasn't sat in my dental chair yet. He just haven't got around to it, I suppose, basically. But there's so many friends of mine. I mean, there's so many big boxers and people in the boxing world who I have treated, and there's some that I just haven't. But we've got good pure friendship.
Perfect.
That's the most great.
Floyd, maybe fighting Logan Paul, is it? Sorry, I'm a bit slow. What do you? Because as a Muslim, you don't drink, you don't smoke.
Yes.
Floyd is also a supreme athlete, always training, doesn't smoke, drinks.
No.
Again, with all due respect to Mr. Logan Paul, this is Floyd Mayweather, TBE. Like, I'll be honest, you can be very good at whatever you think you're good at, but if it happens, any trouble for Floyd?
Hell no. Next question. No. Look, people are obviously.
But you've trained with the man. How I don't think people realise, unless you've seen it firsthand, how the man is disciplined and dedicated. And you've been in the ring, you've been in the cage, you've seen how he does it.
Yeah, I've been honoured to have done three camps with him. The first one was with Canelo, then the Maidana rematch, and then the Berto fight. And it was a privilege and an honour to see him up close and to be training alongside him and watching him train, do his, do what he specialises in, and it was unbelievable because I've never seen anyone like him. How dedicated he is. The thing is, you can say it, and we've also seen it in some boxers where once they reach a certain height, a certain level, they then go downhill. And there's certain factors or obstacles, or there's certain factors there that have caused that, and sometimes it's the fact that the lifestyle. The lifestyle caught them. They enjoy the lifestyle, and they don't have that same zeal and enthusiasm in their training. And things start changing there. Then there's distractions of so many things. So then,
too many punches to the head. They've been through too many wars.
That's one aspect. Obviously, Floyd specialised, and he's very famous for saying, look, boxing, is a science of hitting and not getting hit. That's definitely one, another aspect, another discussion altogether. But in terms of Floyd's dedication to the sport of boxing, it's honestly second to none. This guy lives and breathes boxing. He is in every definition of what an athlete is. Never smokes, never drinks. You never see him bulging up in weight, and in between fights, he takes care of his body and himself. And he famously, what he used to do before back in the day as well, if he had a party, he'd just enjoy himself, enjoy the social aspects of of everyone getting together, having a laugh and stuff. But he never drank, he never smoked. And so what he used to do, he'd have the fight. He'd have the party in the on the Vegas Strip, and then when he finished, he'd go to his car, change his shoes for his trainers, tell the driver, "I'll meet you at home," and he should run back home. That's what Floyd used to do. So I don't know any other fighter who does that. And the thing is, even after he's reached his pinnacle, he made so much money. He had obviously an undefeated record. It's very easy for someone to be like, "Oh, I've done it all and that's it." But he never took the easy route. He said, "No, I want more." His accomplishments, for him, were never enough. He goes, "No, I want more. I want to get higher than this." So that's that drive. What Floyd Mayweather had, it's very rare to find in any sport, not just boxing, and that's why that's what really separates people, these athletes like people like Tiger Woods and how elite he is in his golf, or Michael Jordan, or
Usain Bolt. Do you know
exactly. So these guys in
the
their
top of the tree.
athletes, exactly, the creme de la creme. And the reason why they have that X factor in them, there's something different about them in comparison to the other athletes. And that's the thing, it's that success is never enough for them. The money is not a distraction, the lifestyle and whatnot, they want to get more, they want to get further.
Money is the byproduct of the success.
Yes.
It's not the... Whereas I know Floyd chose the money. Everyone thinks he's in it for the money, but
exactly.
if he was just in it for the money, he'd be selling out a lot more.
Oh, 100%.
Or would have sold out a lot over the years.
Yeah.
But then, another one, I try not to compare different weights too much,
Yeah.
but they have been in and around the same way. Canelo took a loss to Mayweather, but again, his training, the guy's a phenomenal. He's a beast as well.
He is.
And again, someone you've seen firsthand.
Yeah, no, great, and I'm honoured to be around him and call him a friend, and vice versa. And it was great that he. I watched after the Kovalev fight. I was there ringside for that, which was incredible. And then 2 weeks later, I was in the gym with him in his private gym in the West Coast. And 2 weeks after his fight, 2 weeks after he's beat Kovalev at 175 at a weight he doesn't even campaign at, he's back in the gym training. 2 weeks after that, who does that? So the only person who was cut from the same cloth, in my experience and knowledge, was Floyd Mayweather. I don't know anyone else who does that or who would do that. And that's why these people, fighters like Floyd Mayweather, fighters like, and I'll put Manny Pacquiao in that sentence as well, people like Canelo Alvarez, these people are once in a lifetime fighters of, in that generation where they come, and you just got to watch and admire and appreciate their careers, and then they're going to go. So that's why these guys are really special.
When can we see Dr. Hitman back in the ring? And hopefully, I don't care where it is, you can fight anywhere in the world, but I'm looking forward to when you're back on British soil doing what you do best. But COVID's obviously knocked everyone's plans out.
Yes, exactly.
Are we looking to have you back out in the ring? I know you've been training, I know you've done a lovely session this morning at BXR Gym. You're doing something with them. Good news in the pipeline there. When can we see you back out?
Itchy knuckles, really, honestly. I'm just, obviously been affected with COVID. I mean, there was some fights that was potentially sort of lined up earlier this year, obviously were disrupted due to COVID. And I was actually penciled and scheduled to fight in September and have my US debut in September. But obviously with COVID, obviously that was put out, possibly something in December, but again subject to COVID and things are changing so much. I had potentially something scheduled at the end of this month, which was actually in the Czech Republic, but it's one of the countries which is on the list of basically being quarantined for 2 weeks after coming back. So it's that's obviously a difficult one, so I can't consider that. But there's a fight now I'm considering next month which is actually in a country not on the isolation list, which is great. And so that's in the works now. So hopefully, God willing, everything goes well. Next month will be my next fight, which is a shame, obviously, because my last fight was in November in Mexico in Tijuana, and so I've been desperate to get back into the ring. I've just miss it so much. But it's nice to be sparring at least and stuff. It's the closest thing to fighting and stuff. But I just want to get back in under the lights, fight, continue my career, in that regard, and then hopefully, God willing, get that US debut where I'm going to have that bigger fight against a top prospect, which will be a career-changing fight for me. So that's my aim. That's what I'm really excited about.
For anyone viewing this, how can they follow the journey? Shout me out your social media handles.
Dr. Hitman Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram.
I've got a personal message for you. Firstly, thank you for making your debut on Pep Talk.
Yes.
I know.
Long overdue. I've been waiting.
I know you don't do a lot of media because you prefer doing your talking in the ring, but do you know what? 20 minutes plus have just flown by.
Wow.
You have.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I know, because me and you tell lots of stories about boxing. We have. We've been together for the last 2 hours now. So, and I'll be honest, time flies by when we're together. I would love to see you doing more interviews, and I think as much as you've got a focus and you're a busy man, you are a role model to young Muslims out there. You're a role model to anyone wanting to hold down a profession. You're a role model to anyone wanting a clean lifestyle and become a boxer and an athlete. And I'll be honest, you're a role model, and I think a lot more people, the stuff that you're doing out of the ring that you don't get the acknowledgement for, and you do it for the right reasons, like what you're doing for Danny. And the list is endless, but I'll be honest, 22 minutes in, we could do it as segments on interviews. I think people should hear what you've got to say. People see a lot more of you because you really are a diamond in a very difficult industry.
No, you're too kind now. God make me better than all those words that you say.
He ain't gonna say it for himself, because you know what? The brother's too humble, and when that word gets used so often. But I've known Daniel for a long time, and I see the behind-the-scenes stuff he does. And when one of his friends takes a loss, he's there for them. When Paulie's having problems with the network, people don't want to get involved in this stuff. He will put his neck out and think, I don't care whose toes I step on. I may never get a fight on that channel because you're a live company. But you will put out a statement saying, nah, Paulie I've known for this many years, he's not like that. Do you know, them kind of things go to the core of who you are. And I'll be honest, the credit, as much as I'd love to give you all the credit, I'm going to give a massive shout out and my respects to your parents for obviously raising you the way you are. So Uncle G, Auntie G, massive respect to you. And Uncle, next time I'm going to come down, I want to see some of them moves that Daniel talks about. Yes. Maybe the real boxer in the family still got it.
Yeah, man, for sure, 100%, man. He's got. Yeah, no, he used to. He, like I said, when I first laced a pair of gloves, it was through him. It was with him. He was my first boxing coach, my trainer. So he taught me a lot of things actually. But now he doesn't. Obviously, he's like, son, I don't want you boxing. And he's a very straight up guy. Obviously, like I said, his background. He's also in the RAF cadets and stuff like that. He's a very, very regimented person. So he's one of those guys who's like, son, you can talk to me about anything, just don't talk to me about your boxing. Like, all right, Dad, that's cool. But yeah. So it's hopefully, yeah, you get to meet him.
Arthif Daniel, Dr. Hitman, from everyone at Pep Talk, from all the viewers, massive respect to you. Hope you have a great weekend. We look forward to seeing you back in the ring. Assalamu alaikum and peace out, brother.
Peace to you. Thank you.